The World Wide Web, WWW or simply the web, is an information system that enables content sharing over the internet through user-friendly ways meant to appeal to users beyond IT specialists and hobbyists. It allows documents and other web resources to be accessed over the internet according to specific rules of the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP. The web was invented by English computer scientist Tim Berners-Lee while at CERN in 1989 and opened to the public in 1993. It was conceived as a universal linked information system. Documents and other media content are made available to the network through web servers and can be accessed by programs such as web browsers. Servers and resources on the World Wide Web are identified and located through character strings called Uniform Resource Locators, URLs. The original and still very common document type is a web page formatted in Hypertext Markup Language, HTML. This markup language supports plain text, images, embedded video and audio contents, and scripts, short programs, that implement complex user interaction. The HTML language also supports hyperlinks, embedded URLs, which provide immediate access to other web resources. Web navigation, or web surfing, is the common practice of following such hyperlinks across multiple websites. Web applications are web pages that function as application software. The information in the web is transferred across the internet using HTTP. Multiple web resources with a common theme and usually a common domain name make up a website. A single web server may provide multiple websites, while some websites, especially the most popular ones, may be provided by multiple servers. Website content is provided by a myriad of companies, organizations, government agencies, and individual users, and comprises an enormous amount of educational, entertainment, commercial, and government information. The web has become the world's dominant information systems platform. It is the primary tool that billions of people worldwide use to interact with the internet. The web was invented by English computer scientist Tim Berners-Lee while working at CERN. He was motivated by the problem of storing, updating, and finding documents and data files in that large and constantly changing organization, as well as distributing them to collaborators outside CERN. In his design, Berners-Lee dismissed the common tree structure approach, used for instance in the existing CERN documentation system and in the Unix file system, as well as approaches that relied in tagging files with keywords, as in the VAX/Notes system. Instead he adopted concepts he had put into practice with his private Inquire system, 1980, built at CERN. When he became aware of Ted Nelson's hypertext model, 1965, in which documents can be linked in unconstrained ways through hyperlinks associated with hotspots embedded in the text, it helped to confirm the validity of his concept. The model was later popularized by Apple's HyperCard system. Unlike HyperCard, Berners-Lee's new system from the outset was meant to support links between multiple databases on independent computers, and to allow simultaneous access by many users from any computer on the internet. He also specified that the system should eventually handle other media besides text, such as graphics, speech, and video. Links could refer to mutable data files, or even fire up programs on their server computer. He also conceived gateways that would allow access through the new system to documents organized in other ways, such as traditional computer file systems or the Usenet. Finally, he insisted that the system should be decentralized, without any central control or coordination over the creation of links. Berners-Lee submitted a proposal to CERN in May 1989, without giving the system a name. He got a working system implemented by the end of 1990, including a browser called World Wide Web, which became the name of the project and of the network, and an HTTP server running at CERN. As part of that development he defined the first version of the HTTP protocol, the basic URL syntax, and implicitly made HTML the primary document format. The technology was released outside CERN to other research institutions starting in January 1991, and then to the whole Internet on August 23, 1991. The web was a success at CERN, and began to spread to other scientific and academic institutions. Within the next 2 years, there were 50 websites created. CERN made the web protocol and code available royalty-free in 1993, enabling its widespread use. After the NCSA released the Mosaic web browser later that year, the web's popularity grew rapidly as thousands of websites sprang up in less than a year. Mosaic was a graphical browser that could display inline images and submit forms that were processed by the HTTPD server. Mark Andreessen and Jim Clark founded Netscape the following year and released the Navigator browser, which introduced Java and JavaScript to the web. It quickly became the dominant browser. Netscape became a public company in 1995, which triggered a frenzy for the web and started the dot-com bubble. Microsoft responded by developing its own browser, Internet Explorer, starting the browser wars. By bundling it with Windows, it became the dominant browser for 14 years. Berners-Lee founded the World Wide Web Consortium, W3C, which created XML in 1996 and recommended replacing HTML with stricter XHTML. In the meantime, developers began exploiting an IE feature called XML HTTP request to make AJAX applications and launched the Web 2.0 revolution. Mozilla, Opera, and Apple rejected XHTML and created the HWT, which developed HTML5. In 2009, the W3C conceded and abandoned XHTML. In 2019, it ceded control of the HTML specification to the HWT. The World Wide Web has been central to the development of the information age and is the primary tool billions of people use to interact on the Internet. WWW stands for World Wide Web and is commonly known as the web. The WWW was started by CERN in 1989. WWW is defined as the collection of different websites around the world, containing different information shared via local servers, or computers. Web pages are linked together using hyperlinks, which are HTML formatted and, also referred to as hypertext. These are the fundamental units of the Internet and are accessed through Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP. Such digital connections, or links, allow users to easily access desired information by connecting relevant pieces of information. The benefit of hypertext is it allows you to pick a word or phrase from the text and click on other sites that have more information about it. This data may be presented in text, picture, audio, or video formats on the Internet. History of the WWW. It is a project created, by Tim Berners-Lee in 1989, for researchers to work together effectively at CERN. It is an organization, named the World Wide Web Consortium, W3C, which was developed for further development of the web. This organization is directed by Tim Berners-Lee, aka the father of the web. CERN, where Tim Berners worked, is a community of more than 1,700 researchers from more than 100 countries. These researchers spend a little time on CERN and the rest of the time they work at their colleges and national research facilities in their home country, so there was a requirement for solid communication so that they can exchange data. System architecture. From the user's point of view, the web consists of a vast, worldwide connection of documents or web pages. Each page may contain links to other pages anywhere in the world. The pages can be retrieved and viewed by using browsers, of which Internet Explorer, Netscape Navigator, Google Chrome, etc. are the popular ones. The browser fetches the page requested, interprets the text and formatting commands on it, and displays the page, properly formatted, on the screen. The basic model of how the web works are shown in the figure below. Here the browser is displaying a web page on the client machine. When the user clicks on a line of text that is linked to a page on the abd.com server, the browser follows the hyperlink by sending a message to the abd.com server asking it for the page. Here the browser displays a web page on the client machine. When the user clicks on a line of text that is linked to a page on abd.com, the browser follows the hyperlink by sending a message to the abd.com server asking for the page. Working of WWW. A web browser is used to access web pages. Web browsers can be defined as programs which display text, data, pictures, animation, and video on the Internet. Hyperlinked resources on the World Wide Web can be accessed using software interfaces provided by web browsers. Initially, web browsers were used only for surfing the web, but now they have become more universal. The below diagram indicates how the web operates just like client-server architecture of the Internet. When users request web pages or other information, then the web browser of your system requests to the server for the information, and then the web server provide requested services to web browser back, and finally the requested service is utilized by the user who made the request. Web browsers can be used for several tasks, including conducting searches, mailing, transferring files, and much more. Some of the commonly used browsers are Internet Explorer, Opera Mini, and Google Chrome. Features of www. www is open source. It is a distributed system spread across various websites. It is a hypertext information system. It is cross-platform. Uses web browsers to provide a single interface for many services. Dynamic, interactive, and evolving. Components of the web. There are three components of the web. Uniform Resource Locator, URL serves as a system for resources on the web. Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP specifies communication of browser and server. Hypertext Markup Language, HTML defines the structure, organization, and content of a web page. In the early 1990s, Tim Berners-Lee and his team created a basic text web browser. It was the release of the more user-friendly Mosaic browser in 1993 that really sparked widespread interest in the World Wide Web, www. Mosaic had a clickable interface similar to what people were already familiar with on personal computers, which made it easier for everyone to use the Internet. Mosaic was developed by Mark Andreessen and others in the United States. They later made Netscape Navigator, which became the most popular browser in 1994. Microsoft's Internet Explorer took over in 1995 and held the top spot for many years. Mozilla Firefox came out in 2004, followed by Google Chrome in 2008, both challenging IE's dominance. In 2015, Microsoft replaced Internet Explorer with Microsoft Edge. Challenges of the World Wide Web. Privacy concerns, personal data is often collected and misused. Security risks, vulnerable to hacking, phishing, and malware. Digital divide, unequal access to the Internet globally. Misinformation, spread of fake news and unreliable content. Cyberbullying, online harassment and abuse. Addiction, overuse of the web leading to reduced productivity. Dependence, heavy reliance on the web for daily activities. Copyright issues, unauthorized sharing of copyrighted material. Environmental impact, high energy consumption of servers and data centers. Complexity of regulation, difficult to enforce laws across countries. World Wide Web, www, the leading information retrieval service of the Internet, the worldwide computer network. The web gives users access to a vast array of mass media and content via the deep web, the dark web, and the commonly accessible surface web that is connected by means of hypertext or hypermedia links, i.e., hyperlinks, electronic connections that link related pieces of information in order to allow a user easy access to them. Hypertext allows the user to select a word or phrase from text and thereby access other documents that contain additional information pertaining to that word or phrase. Hypermedia documents feature links to images, sounds, animations, and movies. The web operates within the Internet's basic client-server format. Servers are computer programs that store and transmit documents to other computers on the network when asked to, while clients are programs that request documents from a server as the user asks for them. Browser software allows users to view the retrieved documents. Special browsers and platforms such as Tor allow users to do so anonymously. A hypertext document with its corresponding text and hyperlinks is written in hypertext markup language, HTML, and is assigned an online address called a Uniform Resource Locator, URL. The development of the World Wide Web was begun in 1989 by Tim Berners-Lee and his colleagues at CERN, an international scientific organization based in Geneva, Switzerland. They created a protocol, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP, which standardized communication between servers and clients. Their text-based web browser was made available for general release in January 1992. The World Wide Web gained rapid acceptance with the creation of a web browser called Mosaic, which was developed in the United States by Mark Andreessen and others at the National Center for Supercomputing Applications at the University of Illinois and was released in September 1993. Mosaic allowed people using the web to use the same sort of point-and-click graphical manipulations that had been available in personal computers for some years. In April 1994, Andreessen co-founded Netscape Communications Corporation, whose Netscape Navigator became the dominant web browser soon after its release in December 1994. Booklink Technologies Internetworks, the first browser with tabs, in which a user could visit another website without opening an entirely new window, debuted that same year. By the mid-1990s, the World Wide Web had millions of active users. The software giant Microsoft Corporation became interested in supporting Internet applications on personal computers and developed its own web browser, based initially on Mosaic, Internet Explorer, IE, in 1995 as an add-on to the Windows 95 operating system. IE was integrated into the Windows operating system in 1996, that is, it came bundled ready to use within the operating system of personal computers, which had the effect of reducing competition from other Internet browser manufacturers, such as Netscape. IE soon became the most popular web browser. Apple's Safari was released in 2003 as the default browser on Macintosh personal computers and later on iPhones, 2007, and iPads, 2010. Safari 2.0, 2005, was the first browser with a privacy mode, private browsing, in which the application would not save websites in its history, downloaded files in its cache, or personal information entered on web pages. The first serious challenger to IE's dominance was Mozilla's Firefox, released in 2004 and designed to address issues with speed and security that had plagued IE. In 2008, Google launched Chrome, the first browser with isolated tabs, which meant that when one tab crashed, other tabs and the whole browser would still function. By 2013, Chrome had become the dominant browser, surpassing IE and Firefox in popularity. Microsoft discontinued IE and replaced it with Edge in 2015. In the early 21st century, smartphones became more computer-like, and more advanced services, such as Internet access, became possible. Web usage on smartphones steadily increased, and in 2016 it accounted for more than half of web browsing. Thank you for watching this video.